as a human race, we are moving towards an evolution. Not a revolution, an evolution. And one of the things that makes it easy for me to kind of understand or to digest is when I look at the ages. And I've discussed this many times on the channel, that we've been moving into the age of Aquarius and moving out of the age of Pisces. And the age of Pisces is about governing structures. It's about the human race creating structure and governance. And that is what we did through the age of Pisces. And now as we're moving into the age of Aquarius, this is an age of self-discovery, of liberty, self-liberty. And as we move into this age of Aquarius, we're moving away from the structures and the governance that we have created in our lives during the age of Pisces. I've done other videos that talk about, how people can be on different levels, evolutionarily speaking. So some people may be more evolved and in a higher frequency or vibration, if you will. And then others may still be very heavily into the material, the lower frequency energy. And that's okay, because it really only takes a few of us to tip the scales in the right direction. If you look at it, it only took a few voices to spin us off into this direction. So only a few voices, the right voices, would turn us back in the right direction. And what is the right direction? The right direction is starting to find balance in what it is that we've created with regard to structures and governments and authoritarian type of organizations, let's say, that we have created. We're going to have to find a way to move ourselves away from that. And, keeping in mind that, each age that we move through is about 2,500 years. So being that we're just moving into Aquarius, these are just the early stages of humankind starting to regain that control, that understanding of self. So it's going to take us some time to get where we're going with regard to this age. And it's up to those of us here in the very beginning to lead us in the right direction, to lay down the proper stepping stones for us to move towards that ultimate goal. Sometimes I think about the quote, first will be last and last will be first. Perhaps some of us are here to usher out the old and usher in the new. I think that's quite possible. So those of us who are here and on the level and understand what it is that we're talking about here, I think those of us that are there are the ones that are here to kind of implement these changes and to kind of direct everybody in the right way. I feel like government is probably one of the most dangerous organized structures that we have created. Don't forget, we've created this system that originally was created to serve us, and it has now turned in a direction to where we are serving it. That is not the way it needs to go. Our world governments have grown to a point where they have become dangerous, where they do not have the best interest of the people at heart. And historically, they have never had the best interest of people at heart. These large governments and organizations are strictly in it for the power. And they use the things that matter to you most in order to gain your trust and in order to drive division between you and other human beings. And you are not any different than anyone else on this planet. We are all brothers and sisters in humanity, in the color of our skin, and our sexuality, and all of the things that we have devised to define ourselves are the thing that actually separates us. And they're really just concepts, ideas, ideals. It's air energy, None of this is a physical blockage. These are all mental situations, ideals, concepts. And because of that, we hold the power to change it. And so what we need to do is we need to band together and say, you know what? Nothing is separating me from the person standing next to me. We are both brothers, sisters in humanity. We are human beings, and we need to band together, because whatever it is that we have created with our governments and our organized religions and our organized systems all over the world, they have opened us up to tremendous tyranny. And this has to stop here. And we are the ones that can change it. So the next time somebody asks you to define yourself, next time you have to check the box that says, are you white, black, Hispanic? Check other. I'm not going to be defined. You will not define me. There's no reason why anyone needs to know your nationality, your race, your sex, or even your age. In most cases, when we're filling out these forms, they ask these questions to define us, to keep that separation between us, so that you in your mind think, I'm different than them because I checked a different box on the form. It would seem to me that after all of the DNA research that we've done, I'm sure a good majority of you have probably gone out and gotten a DNA test, and you know what's in your blood, and we're all just a mix of all kinds of stuff. We're all mixed with tons of different things. And it doesn't matter what we're mixed with, because we're all still human beings. The biggest point I think it is that I want to reach with this video is to remind you that these systems that we've developed no longer serve us, and we need to put them in check. We need to bring things back down into a perspective where we can actually manage it. We need to manage these systems that we have implemented into our lives. And with that, we need to reduce the power that these systems have over our lives. Again, they need to be here to serve us, not for us to serve them. I really believe that the good majority of people in this world are not really biased about the other people in this world. Again, it's only ideas, ideals, concepts, and things that other people have brought forward that creates that division, that doubt, and that questioning if we are alike. Like I said a minute ago, we're just coming into the age of Aquarius, so there are going to be many things that need to happen in order to move us through this time period. But one of the first things that we can do, and we can do it right now, is eliminate the power that these people have taken in our lives, in your life. Take it back and say, no, I will not be defined by anything that you want to kind of make up in your mind. What's your hair color? What's your eye color? What's your skin color? Where are you from? What's your sexuality? None of this is relevant. If we really wanted an equal society, we would eliminate the special interests that they have created, and they have created them to create separation between us. So if you truly want an equal and balanced society, then it has to start with us all being on the same page, and we're all equal in the same way. And there is no special interest. There is no definition of a difference between us. That is the first step in moving us in the right direction. So right there with yourself, make that change. And don't accept it if anybody wants to define you by anything else. I'm going to do future videos that will discuss this even further and talk about different ideas and concepts that may help to move us forward and to help us to regain our control over certain situations in life in general, and help us to move into self-understanding and self-liberty, and to no longer put those aspects of ourselves in the hands of others in hopes that they're going to do the right thing. We have the power to handle that ourselves. And we have to manage it without fear. They've used fear meticulously on us. Just look around. They use fear, anger, whatever kind of emotion that they can derive in you in order to get you on their side, in order to inflame you into taking action on their behalf. You have to know that emotion is their most powerful tool. And that is our biggest downfall as a species, as human beings. We are far too emotional and easily manipulated by our emotion. And so it's important for us to understand that in order to control it in the first place. But also know that, the fear and the anger and the things that the emotion that you might feel is potentially a big manipulation. And fear is probably one of the most powerful of all. So we're all in this game together, and we have to approach things fearlessly. And we have to say, I'm going to embrace my life, and I'm going to live it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And sometimes I do a little bit of deferral with whatever's going on, I don't allow that fear to encroach on my reality. And that's powerful. It really, really is. See, so taking back our power has a lot to do with not allowing ourselves to be manipulated and not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable emotionally, but to be strong and smart. And the other part of that is we do not need to align ourselves with the leaders of these systems in hopes that they're going to do the right thing, because they're not. We do not need to fight the fight for them. So when they call you to come argue and fight for them, when they send out an idea or concept to try and upset your world, to try and get you inflamed so that you will react and respond on their behalf. Don't do it. It's all by design. It is all a trick. And everyone that has been called into it has been duped. You've been fooled. Because whatever it is that they're calling you to, they're probably behind it. They create situations in order to make you feel impassioned enough to stand up for them. It's pretty scary. It's manipulative. And no one should hold that kind of power. So when it comes to standing up and fighting for something here, be sure you understand what you're fighting for. Because it's probably just another route in this weird game that they've got you on. Another turn on the wheel, They're manipulating us. And the minute we realize it and we stop allowing it, we take back our power. So if everybody was to get on board with this and say, you know what? I'm not fighting the fight for some nonsense that they've, made up, because they're going to do what they want to do anyway. I'm not going to stand up and fight for these people to have power over us, to have more control. That's not going to happen. I'm going to stand up for my fellow human beings and those of us who are looking to make this world a better place. But mostly, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I think that's where it all starts. Is I'm not going to be duped. I'm not going to be fooled. I'm not going to be tricked. And I'm not going to be fighting with my fellow human beings in order to further their agenda. They will not define your thoughts. They will not define your feelings, and they will not define you. All right, guys, I hope this video has helped you in some way. I wish you all the very best. Take care.